You know, I take center and I look up. I had a quick word with a few people that have passed in my life that were close to me, and I asked for their, their guidance and just to watch over me, and I'd be proud of what I'm about to achieve and what I'm about to do in that cage.
Hey, brother.
Hey Jay, how's it going, man?
Yeah, all good, all good, all good. It's been a long time. We were meant to
Yeah,
do this a couple of years ago, right?
yeah. I think the first time I messaged you, we were like at 5,000 followers. So yeah, it's good
Yeah,
that we finally got this interview lined up, man.
good man, good man,
But
good
yeah,
man.
thank you for taking the time to come talk with us today.
No, no, not a problem, not a problem. Like I say, it was sorry to delay. I was just got in from work, so it's been crazy at the moment with this whole virus thing going on and stuff. So I had to been getting things done a bit later at work and stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's all good, man.
Yeah.
Good.
How's quarantine life going for you?
I mean, I'm in Spain, so we've got it pretty bad here.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I work in the construction industry, so they've kind of uh, let us let the shackles off a bit, on some of
Yeah.
the work we do. So the last 2 weeks now, I've been going to work and stuff, so it's been okay for me. I like the quiet life, so that's why I'm out in Spain. So it's when the roads are quiet and there's no one around, I'm pretty happy. So. But it's a hard time for some people, isn't it? Especially for the
Hmm.
small business and stuff. But we just do the best we can.
Yeah. And have you like kept on training? Like, is that something that you try to do every day, or is it kind of?
I mean, my job's pretty active anyway. I'm always
Hmm.
doing a lot of lifting, and I'm always running around at work. But you know, in terms of training, no, I haven't really done a lot.
Yeah.
To be fair, I've just taken the time. I've taken the time to just unwind, and enjoy the time with my girlfriend, and just yeah. I mean, it's it's just a crazy time, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
For
was meant to
sure.
have a flight coming up as well, and it's been a lot of craziness going on. So it's just good just to unwind from it all and just concentrate on myself. And I'm doing little things on the side now, and I'm just trying to grow as a person
Hmm.
in the sense in the work that I do. But training is something that I'm dying to get back to for sure.
Yeah. And one thing I wanted to ask is like we have to talk about that last fight with Tyler Diamond on The Ultimate Fighter. Do you think that was one of the greatest fights in tough history? And like,
Uh,
what?
yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely up there, isn't it? I mean, it's
Yeah, for sure.
I think for a comeback fight to come back from obviously that first round and win like how I did it. It's definitely a great fight. I think the staff themselves of the film, all the guys behind the scenes and stuff, that have been in there for a long time, and they've seen some fights. Some of them have been there, like the
Hmm.
producers, and that have been there from day one, and some of them even said to me, it was one of the best fights I've seen. It reminded them of the Steph Bonner and Forrest Griffin. So
Yeah,
it,
for
it you
sure.
know it was amazing just to be in that category. Amazing to be in the category and just just enjoy it. It's something I can look back at and be proud of. Regardless of whatever
Hmm.
happened after the show. It's I set out on this journey to leave a legacy. Leave something behind. I've never been a man for chasing the money and chasing the limelight. I've just always chased that challenge of being tested and pushed, and it's something that I'll cherish forever.
Yeah, yeah, it's great, man. And moving to the finale, you faced off against Brad Katona, and you unfortunately lost that fight. But I think he announced his release from the UFC a couple of months ago. How do you feel about Katona getting released from the UFC?
Listen, I mean, it's Brad's he's a very very technical fighter. He's very intelligent. He's a very clever man, and he's very gifted in all areas of the MMA world. He boxed as a young child. he's a BJJ black belt. You know, he's been in sport for a long time and he's done all the disciplines. You know, and he's a talent. But sometimes it's just one of them things. You know, it's the talent in the UFC these days is so high, and there's so many fighters in them lightweight division. You know, in the weight divisions. You know, like the bantamweight, featherweights. You know, there's so many fighters in there, and you have to be stopping guys, and you have to be winning all these fights in a spectacular way for them to really want to keep you on. So, you know, Brad has had, you know, these 3 fights that he had, I believe it was 3 or 3 or 4. He had tough fights every time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
He come up against them. So I mean, regardless of what happened, I watched Brad's fights. I watched, you know, Kyler now's in there as well, and you know, I watched Bryce. I watched all these boys. I got a lot of time for them. You know what I mean? Regardless of me not getting in and not getting that contract, I still supported these guys, and you know, I still will continue to support. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of the sport or anything. I was a fan of this sport the same as you are. You know,
yeah.
So that I got to join in and fight and be there was amazing.
Yeah, and like with no disrespect to your fellow contestants, you know, how does it feel to see guys like Kyler Phillips and even John Gunther get a shot in the UFC? But like, you know, they didn't get far into the competition. So how does that make you feel to, as a finalist, like you and Joe Giannetti, to not get the contract?
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, me not getting the contract down to me. You know, no one else is to blame. I knew what I had to do, and I should have gone out there and done it. But you know, it is what it is, like they say. And for the likes of people like Kyler Phillips getting, I mean, that kid. I mean, he's still a young man, you know, and
yeah.
I trained. He was one of my main training partners on there. Him and Mike Trezano. But Kyler Phillips is a stud. He's an absolute. He's very gifted in all areas, and me and him had many conversations, and I always said to him after he lost his fight to Brad, I said to him he would make the UFC without a doubt, and he deserves everything he's got. He deserves to be there. Do you know what I mean? Out of most of the guys there, he's one that deserves to be there. He's fought some tough competitions. He's put people away, and he's got an exciting style. So yeah, for sure, he deserves to be there. I mean, like John Gunther as well. I mean, he got a one shot in the UFC because of the semi-final guys like Tyler, Bryce, John, and Alan. When they got the semi-final fights of the show, they're contracted to 2 fights, so they had to get another fight, which they won. So John got another fight after he beat Alan. I believe that was it. I don't think he signed to him now, from what I know. But it's just tough games. The UFC is a tough place to be. You know, you can't play in that league. You have to be putting people away and be exciting. You know what I mean? I mean, as much as I was gutted that they didn't give me another chance, you know, it's as much as my style excites people, and I like to go in there and have it out with them. It's not, you know, it doesn't mean I'm always gonna have that style where people are gonna want to have you in there. They're gonna want to see, you know. So Dana and these guys, they make the right decisions, and you see the people that are in the show that you know, they're amazing fighters. So.
Yeah, and what was your favorite experience from your season on The Ultimate Fighter? Like, what did you take most out of being on The Ultimate Fighter?
You know, I've been through a lot in my life anyway, you know, so I've been through some crazy stuff, and I was in the army when I was young, so I was quite, you know, I'm quite immature, but I do stupid things. That people that know me quite well, I'm a bit of a clown and a joker, but with the likes of being on there, I learned like self-discipline a lot, because you know, to discipline myself to not get carried away within the limelight of the TV and everything like that. I set out there to do one thing, and that was give my best effort. That was it. I didn't go in there and be like, I'm going to be the star of this show, I'm going to be this and that. I just went, you know, I had a lot of people that put a lot of time and effort into me going on to this. Like my girlfriend sacrificed time with me, and you know, and I had a lot of friends and a lot of close people that put money in their, you know, give money to me to sponsor me, to help me pursue this dream. And all I wanted to do was come out of that show and just know that when I leave, people will see that I put the effort in, and thank God I got that second chance on the show, and I got to show why I deserve to go out there and do what I did.
Yeah. And shortly after that, you went into bare knuckle boxing. How was that transition, and what inspired you to take that path?
I just like a challenge. I love a challenge, and I love, I love. I think the not getting signed to the UFC, it did knock me back a bit. At first, I was like, it's cool. I didn't win, and I didn't win the fight finale, so I shouldn't. It's thing is, it's how it should have been throughout the years. But people losing fights in the finale, and they're still getting signed, weren't they? So it is what it is. But I just needed to let some steam off somewhere else. Maybe it wasn't the right choice in the sense of getting into back to the UFC, because I don't realistically. I probably need a decent couple wins, and they would have signed me back. But I just I wanted to just like do what I wanted to do, and people approached me about it, and it was something that it really I had to do it. I just had to do it. You know what I mean? I had to dive in there and just have a feel for it, and tell you what, it was one of the best experiences that I've ever had. It really was. It was amazing. It was an amazing experience, and I've always been a fighter like that in that sense. Always like have a little scrap and stuff. So, but I will definitely hope get in there again for sure.
Yeah, and with bare knuckle fighting championship being a thing, I could see you fight maybe Artem Lobov or Jason Knight. I think those fights would be amazing to have.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, for sure. I'm definitely passionate about it, and I just love to fight. And listen, I'm 33 years old, and the likelihood of me getting back to the UFC is very, it's not as easy as it is for some of these young guys. So, I'm not chasing nothing no more. I'm in a good place in Spain where I live. I've set my own business up in construction, and and I've got up and comers coming through, and I train and stuff, and there's some great talent that's coming through now these days in Spain, and I'm just doing me. I'm gonna still fight MMA, and I'm just gonna see where it takes me. Still, you never know. You never know. I might get that call one day. There's always these dropouts and stuff. So, thing is, with the UFC, they know about me that I'll always step up and fight anyone. So I'm not really too fussed. But for me, I'm gonna do me. Be happy and travel the world and fight. Still, I've got a couple of years left of me scrapping, and I just want to enjoy it. I had an amazing run throughout these last 4 to 5 years, and I'm just blessed to be in the position that I am now. Still,
Mm-hmm. And when do you think we'll see you back in the cage? Do you think maybe before the end of this year, or do you think with the way that 2020 is going, we won't see any fights?
I mean, hopefully I'll be back in there. I mean, I was meant to be on on Venator FC, which is Venator. It's an Italian
got
show.
It. Yeah. Got it.
I was meant to be doing a main event on there against a young up and coming guy for the title. So that was going to be in May, but obviously it's in Italy, and they've been hit pretty hard. So that's been knocked back. The event's been knocked back to November. So if all goes well, I'll hopefully be on that show. And maybe in August, there's talks of me having a fight maybe here in Spain. So I'll if all goes well, I'll definitely have a couple of fights. If not, at least one for sure. For sure, if I can get one, I will. I mean, like I say, it's I'm still hungry to compete. I'll always be hungry to compete. You know what I mean? So I got my guys. One of my guys there is watching, Gabby, the Ghost, Monstars MMA. Them guys, yeah, nice. So yeah, but yeah, I enjoy to compete. I enjoy to fight, but I'll definitely be having a bare knuckle fight again soon as well, for sure.
Yeah, and maybe in the summer we'll see you on the Dana White's Contender Series, because they usually bring back the Ultimate Fighters from there. So I think that would be an awesome show as well.
Yeah, I mean, what's the news about the Contender Series? Have you heard much about it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard too much about it. With the things that are going on with the UFC right now, with getting the shows on. So I don't think there's any word of them canceling it. But I think they'll make it happen soon.
They're looking to do the TUF again as well. I'm guessing. I think we're going to start that back up. So that would be cool.
Yeah.
It would be cool. So I think, listen, I'll go down in history with the Ultimate Fighter. So you can't beat that. In my eyes,
Yeah.
you can't beat that. You really can't. So.
I think the only fight I could compare yours and Diamond's to is maybe Griffin versus Bonner in the finale, because I think those fights are neck and neck to like the greatest fights of all time on the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny as well, because after the show got aired, well, no, sorry, just before the show got aired, I went and see Forrest Griffin in the PI.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It was surreal, because obviously I've been a young guy myself and loving it, and my girlfriend giving me a kiss, love you. I went to see Forrest Griffin, and I sat down and I had breakfast with him, and we were just talking and stuff about my fight, and I was telling him that the producer, like Gary, was telling me that it was one of the best fights, and Forrest said, I look forward to watching it, and it was the day before my fight, and I see him. The fight had been released, on the network, and I see Forrest, and that next day, and he was like, "Wow, man, incredible fight," and so to be up there in that category of best fights of tough stuff, it's just amazing. To me, that's more. No money can better that. You know what I mean? So I don't care about the money side of things and stuff. It's people will always remember that fight, and no matter whatever happens in my career, whether I either make it to the UFC or I ever fight again for that, you know what I mean? It's I'll always be in that part of that history. So I'm super proud of what I've done. So.
And last question that I have for you is, like, do you still connect with everybody that was on your season of The Ultimate Fighter? Like, do you still connect with your buddies on there?
Yeah. I mean, there's a select few, but I still speak with Mike Truzano, Richie Smullen, Luis Pena, Kyler Phillips, Saman and Delani as well. Still speak to John Bryce as well. I still speak to Bryce. So no, it's crazy, because it was 2 years this year, I think. Yeah, 2 years. So it's gone like that. And a lot's happened in them 2 years, and I think Saman is in there now, Kyler's in there now, and it's there's a lot happened, and since I haven't won a fight since Tyler, so it's crazy, So like the way the paths go and stuff like that, it's a crazy way of life, isn't it? Doing that show. But I always say hello to people, and the thing is, I'm a big fan of the sport. So whenever Louise fights or Kyler fights, I always watch. Or Richie Smullen's fighting, I always watch these guys, and because it's you're connected, aren't you? No matter what, you connected with in your life with them. So it's just great to still be with these people, and see them do well, because regardless of whatever happened with me, I'm grateful to be able to have known these people, and they do really well for themselves and stuff, and they deserve it.
For sure.
Train hard and work hard, and so for me, it's I'm happy with my life where it's at, and some people may think, like you say, it's I didn't get signed, and I had a great fight, and yeah, of course, but it is what it is. It's meant to be, isn't it? So I'm completely happy with how things went and stuff, and I'm just glad to be able to tell the story. Just enjoy it. So, but like you say, people like you, and I haven't spoke to you. It's this is meant to happen a couple of years ago, and you still remember that fight. So that will go on for when I'm long gone. My grandchildren and stuff will see that, and it's cool. For me, that's really cool.
Yeah, and that's great to hear, man. And for sure that fight, I will never forget that fight. You know, I watched it last night, and man, I got hyped for this interview. Like, you know, I just have
Cool,
to
man.
interview this guy. So
No,
I
I
think
appreciate it, because I remember from the day one of everything, and like you say, you've done well for yourself, getting yourself to where you're at, and you know you're over 10,000 followers, and you know it's great. I do like your posts. You know, you do some cool posts and stuff. So and I appreciate the support. I really do. You know.
mhm. Thank you for taking the time for the interview, man. I really appreciate it.
No worries, brother. No worries. I like to say, I mean, I'm always I'm always grateful for the opportunity that was given to me. So, you know, people that are given the time to watch and give me support, I'll always have time for sure, bro.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, man. I think this is the end. Appreciate you coming on, and I hope to see you soon, maybe in the UFC or, you know, and I'm glad that you're happy with your life as it is, and I hope that you stay safe in Spain.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much, and
Thank you.
appreciate the support. Take care, bro.
Have a good night.
You too.